Before cloud storage, before smartphones, before social media, before anyone ever said the words, "upload a photo," there was a book. A simple book, usually sitting on a shelf, a coffee table, or tucked safely inside a cabinet. And inside that book lived an entire lifetime. Weddings, birthdays, family vacations, Christmas mornings, new babies, school graduations, anniversaries, and the faces of people we loved. People who, in many cases, are no longer here today. If you're over 50, there's a good chance you still have one of those albums somewhere in your home. And if you do, you already know something younger generations may never fully understand. A photo album wasn't just a collection of pictures. It was a collection of moments. And every page told a story. Yet today, those albums have largely disappeared, replaced by digital galleries stored inside phones, tablets, computers, and cloud accounts. So what happened? How did one of the most treasured objects in family life quietly fade away? And if photo albums worked so well, why did the world replace them? This is the story of the albums that preserved our lives, the memories they protected, and the digital technology that changed the way we remember everything. Today, people take hundreds of photographs without thinking twice. Back then, every picture mattered. Because every picture cost money. Film cost money, developing cost money, printing cost money. You couldn't simply hold down a button and take 50 pictures. Most rolls contained only 12, 24, or 36 exposures. That was it. Once those pictures were gone, they were gone. So people became selective, careful, intentional. Photographs were reserved for moments that felt important. Birthdays, vacations, family reunions, weddings, Christmas. The moments worth remembering. Ironically, many families had fewer photographs, yet each photograph often meant more. And then came the waiting. Sometimes days, sometimes weeks. You took the pictures, dropped off the film, and waited. Many viewers still remember the excitement of picking up that envelope from the photo shop, opening it in the car, looking through every picture, laughing at the mistakes, smiling at the good ones. Those photographs weren't instantly available, which somehow made them feel more valuable. Every family seemed to have one person who took most of the photographs. Maybe it was dad, maybe it was mom, maybe it was grandpa, maybe it was grandma. And here's something many families eventually realized. The person who took most of the pictures often appeared in the fewest pictures. They were always behind the camera, capturing everyone else's memories. Years later, families often wish there had been more photographs of them. Photo albums weren't meant to stay closed. People opened them, often. Children gathered around, grandparents told stories, visitors flipped through pages. Someone pointed to a photograph and asked, "Who is that?" And suddenly a story began. A family history lesson, a forgotten memory, a funny moment. The photographs started the conversation, but the stories were what people truly came for. Perhaps no album was treated with greater care than the wedding album. Heavy, beautiful, protected, sometimes displayed proudly for decades. Long before social media existed, this was how newly married couples shared one of the happiest days of their lives. Guests visited, the album came out, and the memories came alive all over again.
Every family seemed to have a vacation album. Road trips, camping adventures, theme parks, beach vacations, national parks. The photographs weren't perfect, but they captured something far more important: the feeling of being there. One picture could bring back an entire summer. The smell of sunscreen, the sound of waves, the songs playing on the radio, the laughter in the car. A single photograph could unlock an entire chapter of life. The photographs we can never replace. This may be the most emotional part of the story. Many people still own photographs of parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, friends, and spouses who are no longer here. Sometimes a photograph becomes priceless, not because of photography, but because of time. Many people don't realize it when the picture is taken. Years later, they discover that one photograph became the last photograph ever taken of someone they loved. At the time, it was just another picture. Today, it is irreplaceable. Here's another memory many people have forgotten: duplicate prints. Families often ordered extra copies, not because they needed them, but because they planned to mail them. To grandparents, to aunts, to uncles, to relatives living across the country. Photographs traveled through the mail. Today, photos arrive instantly. Back then, they arrived with anticipation. This may sound strange, but many viewers know exactly what this means. Old photo albums had a smell. The paper, the glue, the plastic sleeves, the aging photographs. One whiff of an old album can transport someone back decades in seconds. Memory is powerful, and sometimes it arrives through more than just our eyes. Then everything changed. The change didn't happen overnight. It happened gradually. First came digital cameras. Suddenly, people no longer worried about wasting film. They could take dozens of pictures. Then, hundreds. That was the first crack in the photo album era. The camera left the closet and became part of everyday life. Then something new happened. People stopped printing every photograph. Instead, they stored them on computers, CDs, DVDs, external hard drives. Many viewers may remember folders named Vacation 2003, Christmas 2005, Family Reunion. For the first time, memories existed without ever being placed inside an album. Then came the real turning point: the smartphone. Suddenly, everyone carried a camera everywhere, every day, all the time. Breakfast, pets, shopping trips, sunsets, grandchildren, ordinary moments. The number of photographs exploded. Previous generations took hundreds of photos each year. Today, many people take hundreds every month. Before digital galleries, sharing photographs meant inviting people over. You sat together, opened an album, turned pages, told stories, shared memories. Today, photos are often uploaded, viewed for a few seconds, and replaced by the next image. In many ways, social media became the new photo album, but the experience changed completely. Why digital galleries replaced photo albums? The answer is simple: convenience. A single smartphone can hold more photographs than dozens of traditional albums. Photos can be shared instantly, stored automatically, backed up securely, edited in seconds, sent around the world in moments. No film, no developing, no waiting. The advantages were impossible to ignore. Little by little, digital galleries replaced physical albums. What we gained? There's no denying the benefits. Unlimited storage, instant sharing, cloud backups, video memories, photo restoration, easy organization, the ability to carry a lifetime of memories in your pocket. The technology is remarkable. But was it really better? That's a question worth asking. Because something interesting happened. As photographs became easier to take, they often became easier to forget. Many people have thousands of pictures stored on their phones, yet rarely look at them. Meanwhile, old photo albums were opened repeatedly. Family members gathered around them, stories were shared, laughter filled the room. The photographs became an experience, not just a collection. What we lost? Perhaps we lost more than we realize. The anticipation, the excitement of waiting for developed photos, the family gatherings around an album, the handwritten notes, the storytelling, the physical act of holding a memory in your hands, the intentionality. Previous generations had fewer photographs, but often more memories attached to each one. Today, we have more photographs than any generation in human history. Yet many are forgotten within days. What we really miss, and maybe this is the most important point of all, most people aren't nostalgic for photo albums. They're nostalgic for the people inside them. The parents turning pages, the grandparents telling stories, the children asking questions, the loved ones smiling back from photographs taken decades ago. Because sometimes we're not missing the album. We're missing the chapter of life it represents and the people who helped write it. For generations, photo albums preserved the moments that mattered most. They captured weddings, birthdays, vacations, new beginnings, and ordinary days that eventually became extraordinary memories. Then, almost without anyone noticing, they began disappearing. Digital galleries didn't simply replace photo albums. They replaced a ritual, a family tradition, a way of revisiting the past together. And perhaps that's why opening an old photo album today feels so emotional. Not because of the photographs, but because of the people looking back at us from those pages. Now, we'd love to hear from you.
Do you still have a family photo album?
What's the oldest photograph you own? And whose face do you always stop and look at when you turn those pages? Tell us your memories in the comments below. And here's one final challenge. Tonight, open your oldest photo album. Find a picture that makes you smile. Then send this video to the person in that photograph or to someone who shared that memory with you. And thank them. Thank them for being part of a moment that still brings joy all these years later. Because while photo albums may have disappeared from many homes, the people inside them, the stories they preserved, and the memories they protected still remain. Technologies may change. Storage may become digital. Entire generations of devices may come and go. But the moments we shared, those remain forever.